Hello, and welcome to DNP 804, Economic and Financial Aspects of Healthcare. My name is Anna Sheets, and I will be your instructor for the next 7 weeks. Right now, am going to go through a lot of information, and I have a number of notes. I hope you will forgive as I look around just to make sure that I've hit all of the things that I want to share with you today as we get started on this journey. It is unprecedented what is happening around us. And I hope you will forgive me as we go through this course and go through the syllabus. And when you read this text, which is a relatively recent text, but when it talks about the pressing needs of healthcare right now in the face of what's happened over the last 15 weeks in the United States with the pandemic, it just pales in comparison by some of the things. So I hope that you'll be patient with the terminology and that you'll also incorporate everything that's happened in the last 13 weeks into what we're going to be studying and discussing over the next 7 weeks. On the main page of the syllabus, you will see you'll be able to download your very own copy of what we're going to be going over. And I just want to really emphasize with you that the outcomes that we are trying to achieve with this course really are just to help you understand the economic aspects of healthcare reform in the United States. Again, right now, things are really different than they were just 10 weeks ago. So I think that we'll all be learning and we'll be challenged and challenging ourselves and each other to learn together some of the best practices and what we all need to be doing next to move through this current situation. To discuss the market forces that affect healthcare costs and availability, to analyze and describe the connection between quality patient outcomes and the financial performance of healthcare organizations, and to articulate a business proposal and financial plan to support the development of a new program or service, which is hopefully very closely aligned with whatever your DNP project is. So my goal is just to give you that return on the opportunity to explore what that return on investment will be for your project as you move through, recognizing that things might have shifted massively for you in what you're working on in these last few weeks. As frightening and overwhelming, and I will share, there have been times where I'm completely overwhelmed and fatigued with what we are dealing with the number of changes in my organization, my role, our healthcare delivery system, and what we've had to do to recreate and to establish safe healthcare delivery in the face of a pandemic has been just overwhelming. And has required us to learn and to demonstrate skills that maybe we didn't think we had or we haven't exercised for some time. But we have developed new ways of working together. We have accelerated the use of technology, no matter what that is, especially our video chats, the use of Zoom, the use of Microsoft Teams in communicating Jabber, implementing telehealth with our patients and families to keep them connected to healthcare providers when we can't physically be present with each other. We would have never been able to do this at the pace at which we have done that over the last few weeks. So I encourage you as we get started, and actually I have a SurveyMonkey link out to each of you to really capitalize on learning from each other. I just would like your thoughts, and I will share mine as well, as to a challenge that you personally have been able to be a part of, some kind of exciting innovation as a result of what you're doing in your healthcare facility, your education facility, wherever it is, your research facility where you work. that is based on this COVID kind of taking over. To boot, I will share with you, the DNP program is not easy. And when I was going through the DNP program, I graduated from Xavier University. There were moments when I absolutely hated myself. I hated my choices. I hated the fact that I wasn't sleeping, that I wasn't eating, that I wasn't able to concentrate on being with my family. So much respect to each one of you going through this really rigorous course of study at this really unique time when you might be getting pulled in many different directions, and the amount of uncertainty that each of us face in each of our roles can absolutely be overwhelming as well. So hang in there, take a deep breath. I start each lecture with the PowerPoint piece with just a moment of reflection. So get your feet down, take a deep breath, make sure that you've had plenty of water to drink, you're hydrated so that your brain can function and you can start and enjoy this learning experience. We will start today with a big picture overview that really discusses economics as part of, or as one of the scientific underpinnings of our practice. We will then move into overall budgeting in week 2, how to build a budget for those of you who may or may not participate in that, and get into some of the nitty-gritty around this, but overall it will still just kind of be a big picture overview of that. After that, we will begin again going through that budgeting. We'll jump into some strategic planning, and there is where we'll really start to focus on the main assignment for this entire course, which is to create a business plan proposal and submit that executive summary style, so just the highlights, about a change, just like, I'm sorry, I read from the syllabus, a change in practice which supports your DNP project. So if you are implementing a education or doing some kind of quality improvement work or actual research, please make sure that you're focused on the business case which supports your project. We want everything that you're going to be doing in this next 7 weeks to be applicable to the overall work of graduation and moving on in your professional careers. Week 4, we will go into my favorite area, which is really about building the case for quality for healthcare and healthcare delivery. And again, how much more important and critical that is in this time of COVID and pandemic recovery. Analyzing connections between quality work and quality outcomes for our patients and populations, and connections to those costs. In week 5, we will focus on ethical policy issues and some of the healthcare work that is going on in that area. We will also really spend some time looking at the role of the DNP as a project leader or a project manager, again, in support of your business plan. So you will be the project manager of whatever it is that you're proposing, obviously. So be sure that you've gone to the discussion board to introduce yourself. We will be interested in knowing who we've got in class, whether you're an academic, a frontline nurse provider, an administrator, a researcher. Please let us know who all is here and who all is working with us. I've put together a PowerPoint to review the first 2 chapters and invite you to review that. I've also included for this week 1 a 17-minute clip of Don Berwick explaining the ACA overview. Now, this was filmed in March of 2017, so it is almost ancient at this point in time, but it still, to date, is the best thing that I can find that really explains how we got to where we got in the United States and the ACA. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you'll learn something from it. I tend to learn something from it every time that I review it. Obviously, there has been incredible changes and challenges to the ACA currently, right now in the Supreme Court. Yet, just a week ago, another challenge to the legality of this healthcare coverage, which is what it is. I will not make any political statements. However, just really important, again, for us as nurses and nurse leaders to really understand the implications and consequences of what is outlined in this law and what is at risk if that law is revoked. I did include the December 2018 update from the Texas Appeals Court decision, which also is fueling what's going on in the Supreme Court right now. So it might be good to review that. That all is housed in a website that I think is incredibly reliable from an information, which is the Kaiser Family Foundation. Kaiser Family is known for using big data to inform and to help keep all of us informed in healthcare changes. So I have a few links there too in Module 1 that hopefully you will access and find helpful. There is a proverb, ancient proverb, that says, "May you live and work in interesting times." And certainly these are interesting times in healthcare. When it comes to the reforms, when it comes to the pandemic, when it comes to what we're all trying to learn to move forward and move through. Never has there been such a time where innovation and creativity really is important, where a heart for equality, for social justice, and the principles that just support all of that in the work that we do as nurses every day. So let's get started. I really am looking forward to talking with all of you via our discussions in the discussion pages. This truly is an all teach, all learn environment. We do not expect everybody to know everything. I do hope that you ask many questions and help each other learn as much as we possibly can. I will be very interested in looking at what you all are finding too in the literature right now as things have changed and evolved so quickly in the last few weeks. I will be putting up some very recent JAMA articles in addition to a Don Berwick article that was just published this past week. That one won't be required reading, but just an incredibly great article that I hope that you're all able to read and take advantage of. Good gravy. Thank you very much for hanging in there and listening to all of this. I do look forward to meeting you and hearing from each of you in your role. Have a great week.